We hope you are enjoying this Veterans Day weekend as we look back at a midterm election in which just 50.3% of eligible Oklahoma voters actually cast a ballot. That's 6% less than in 2018. We have team coverage of how the night unfolded. Let's begin with Steve Shaw, who spent his Tuesday evening at the GOP watch party in Oklahoma City. Steve.
Rich, the surprise of the night was the fact Republicans not only swept the elections for statewide offices, they won handily and in most cases early.
Today, dark money lost and the people of Oklahoma won.
49-year-old Governor Kevin Stitt says trust in God and the people of Oklahoma are why he will serve a second term.
Ronald Reagan said it best when he said, government is not the solution. Most of the time, government is the problem.
Stitt ran as an outsider 4 years ago when he emerged from a crowded field of insiders to win the 2018 governor's race handily. He steered the Sooner State through the pandemic, refusing to go lock and step with what Washington, D.C. decision makers, he says, told him to do. He received nearly 639,000 votes Tuesday night, or over 55%. To easily outdistance current state superintendent of education Joy Hoffmeister, who got about 42% of the vote. And Stitt says he won in spite of a late $50 million advertising smear campaign by the opposition.
Did you see this coming?
You know, we didn't know this big of a victory. Our internal polls towards the end showed us up 10 to 12. But you know, you never know because all those other polls were showing a flat race or my opponent even up. But that's what's so disappointing for Oklahomans and really Americans is because it's hard to trust the media right now. Because who's paying for the polls? What's their narrative? What are they trying to get across? I think that's why Oklahomans and Americans are so disappointed right now with the media because really who can you trust? All the fake news out there. And then when you talk about the $50 million spent against me to spread lies and chaos, but I'm so happy Oklahomans saw the truth and they were mailing out things, believe it or not, that were saying I was going to close rural schools. And so anyway, the fear that was happening was just so disgusting and I'm glad Oklahomans saw through it.
Early on Tuesday night, State Republican Party Chairman A.J. Ferrati told me nationally the top three issues for these midterms were inflation, the economy, and education. But he says Democrats spent a staggering $320 million in ad money on the abortion issue, which Ferrati says was number 7 down the list. He says Democrats misfired again.
We're going to win. We're going to win big. And based on some new information I've received, I think we're going to win pretty quickly here this evening as well.
Oklahoma spoke loud and clear. We want Republican government in the state of Oklahoma.
Stitt ally Ryan Walters also won early Tuesday night for State Superintendent of Education with 57% of the vote and will succeed current State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister, who Governor Stitt defeated Tuesday night.
This is as important an election as I can remember. It's the future of our state, our children's future is at stake here. The radical agenda from the Biden administration is the most radical this country's ever seen. We have to stop it in its tracks right now.
What are they doing or trying to do that is so radical?
Yeah, they're pushing radical sexual content into our schools. It's pornography. It's talking to kids about being transgender in the early grades. It's divisive. It's confusing. And what this is doing is it's robbing our kids of a great education, and also it's indoctrinating them into a belief system that's not in line with Oklahoma values. And we're going to put parents in charge of their kids' education. We're going to get radical left-wing ideology out of our schools, and we're going to put our students in a pathway for success.
Markwayne Mullen's election gathering happened on the east side of the state, and Mullen, who's never afraid to get straight to the point, actually won his election by about 7:30 Tuesday night.
Mullen will take over for U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe, who retired earlier this year. Mullen spoke with OETA's Jason Doyle last week.
And so the first thing we have to do is become energy independent. And energy is the beginning of every product being made, and it is the end of each cost when it's being delivered. And so with high energy costs, we're going to have inflation. It's literally the backbone of our economy. So if we want to start getting inflation under control, we need to become energy independent. We can't be reliant on OPEC, the cartels in Saudi Arabia, controlling our oil prices. We can't allow Russia to dictate our petroleum and oil products when we could be energy dependent right here inside the United States. And we need to roll back the disastrous policies that Biden put in control by picking winners and losers and forcing us to renewables. When we're in Oklahoma and Texas alone, we could literally just, if we would turn the spigots back on, allow us to be producers that this state has always been known to do, we could eliminate our need on OPEC and on Russia oil immediately. And we could start seeing inflation go down.
Just very thankful, and I just, thank the Lord. I just think that truth prevailed tonight.
Governor Stitt says he has no plans to take his foot off the gas.
Next year, what's first on the agenda next year?
So, we always focus on becoming top 10 and running the state's business. So we've got tons of different categories we focus on, but I think the four most important are education. We all want the best education for our kids. We want the best roads and bridges, so infrastructure is always an important point. And then we've got healthcare. We want access to healthcare, better access in rural Oklahoma. We want our local hospitals to be successful, and then we want the best business climate. So those four things I always focus on.
Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, who also coasted to re-election, gave insight for the Republican landslide.
I mean, again, you got 77 counties in Oklahoma, not just 2 counties. We have to recognize that. There's a lot of Oklahomans that don't travel to a lot of the other parts of this state that, are dealing with those kind of issues. So, rural, urban, I don't care what it is, we got 77 of them, counties. We need to make them all strong over the next 10 years before we do the next census.
During his victory speech, Governor Stitt said Oklahoma now ranks 11th in the nation in the number of people who have moved here recently. He says those largest numbers are coming from California, of all places.